During this session, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plan to give a small bit of AI introduction. Then I will go to the programming environment that you need to set up, because next day once you are attending, I believe you could spend much more time with Python, because this the entire class, entire discussions will cover out, or the practicals are cover out with Python programming language. But if you want any other programming language than Python, I'm totally okay with that. It's up to you for the decision. But during the class time, all the practicals are covering only in Python. Sometimes it might be a bit of R, not a lot. A bit of like small components of R and other languages might involve, not a lot. Nearly 90 percentage to 95 percentage will cover in Python environment. So if you are planning to go along with me, like during the class time, the practicals, I would strongly encourage you to go through Python and understand the basics. Since you have done some of programming, I believe it's not a big deal to grasp Python, because it's much easy. Somehow I will demonstrate you a bit of work, practical implementations, how to do with Python, and what you need to do, how to set up the environment, and so on and so forth. After this overview of AI, and I will give a small practical also to check whether you are strong enough to handle or not. I mean, if you are not strong enough, it's a good time to spend. Probably, I would just suggest during this time, rather than focusing on anything, you should focus only on Python. My general suggestion is around 2 hours per day. That means once you attend to the next session, probably at least you have around 14 to 16 hours of effort minimum in Python. So if you have much more time, if you are free, if you are staying home, or else you have nothing to do at the moment, that there's no big work to do, then probably you can go for 6 to 8 hours, probably at least 5 hours per day. Then if you are doing that kind of thing, probably you have 35 hours around effort, 30 to 35 hours. Still, if you are really interesting, you can go for 10 or 12 hours. No worries at all, guys. So we'll keep minimum to 15 hours, and for maximum we'll keep to 70 hours. Not need to go beyond that, I don't think so. You want more than effort. 70 hours is more than enough to understand the whole story of Python, I'm pretty sure. I know it's a bit hard, but in between that, based on your effort, you can grasp the content, and you can grasp the techniques and shortest path and many other things, like like shortcuts to solve problems and stuff. So the first part, we focus on AI, overview of AI. So once you have a large set of data, now as we discussed, we want data, large set of data. So since we have large set of data, you can perform many tasks like identification, detection, or classification or prediction, many other things that we can do. Artificial intelligence is not just prediction. Most of people misinterpret this. Artificial intelligence is prediction, not really. There are classification problems, there are identification and detection even. As an example, image recognition. It's a recognition. It's not a prediction, it's not a classification, it's recognition. So we have face recognition. So all of these are all of these concepts are there for our work. So I would strongly encourage you to understand these things later on, day by day. But as a beginner, you should understand something, because we have already completed 4 hours. So during these 4 hours, I believe you could be able to understand a bit more than the last 4 hours. And the question is, can you see my screen, guys? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Can Can you see the screen? Hello?
Yes, sir. Can
All
see
right,
screen.
nice, thank you. Right. So, how can artificial intelligence transform data into valuable asset? That's a good question. Now, we want to transform data into a valuable asset. Right. So, data is obviously a mechanism like raw data. As I told, there is no meaningless, right? Meaningless data. So we want to provide a meaning for this one. How to provide a meaning for this one? To provide a meaning, other mechanisms we are focusing on different things. Somehow during this, what we call this, and what we want to do is we want to focus on, and basically, this is a transformation into a model. So basically, it's a transformation into a model. Model means we have lot of data, right? We have lot of data. Then we are applying for an algorithm, one or many algorithms. Somehow we'll assume it's a one single algorithm. Then if it is fit, that means if it can produce different kind of outputs, different kinds of output. Then what we can do is we can find an output. This output is a model. This is, this is a model. So this model can easily understand all the things that we have fed it out to the computer or the model. Now computer creates these features are required to understand these kinds of things. Then how to get a value? We can ask a new question. Model checks with the capabilities what it can, then it provides an output. This is the story of the AI development. This is the story of AI usage. During this phase, the developers are involving a lot. During this phase, the users are involved. This is the place that real value generates. As an example, we'll take most common example nowadays, ChatGPT. Developers developed all these ChatGPT protocols in here. They have created a model. They have a model. What we are doing, we are asking a question, then based on this input, it produces an output. Got it? That's how we are focusing on this kind of a thing. Well, next, AI involves with mainly predictive analytics, but we have diagnosis, prescriptive, a lot of things are there. Lot in a sense, not a lot, a very large number of, but less than five probably. We have different kind of analytical aspects. One is predictive analytics. So this is the most common thing. Right? So we'll discuss about this one path of these steps for the performance of stuff. What happens here? We have to define a problem at the beginning. A problem statement. It might be classifying a dog or a cat, or we are classifying an Asian or a European, or we are telling the stock market price would tomorrow 8 a.m. this kind of thing, or else we do uh, cluster a given person as a patient as a sick one or not. Different kinds of problems that we can define, or else we can go for social media predictions. My post will get this much of likes. It's a nice question, right? I would get this much of likes for a YouTube video, I would get this much of watch hours. The people might watch this kind of things. Number of views might be this much of. So these kinds of problem statements that we can define. We can define these kinds of problem statements. Number two is the data collection. How we collect data and how we store the data and how much the data is valuable, what kind of data we are extracting, from where we are extracting, amount of the data extraction, and many other questions might come into this stage. During the data collection stage, we want to focus on the extraction of data, collection of data, appropriate to the question. As an example, if we are trying to predict rainfalls, like tomorrow rainfalls, how much there might be a rainfalls tomorrow, we should collect data related to that. As an example, we have to find last 100 years rainfalls in that day, last 100 years, the sun, the stage of sun, how much is it and how much is that, and so on and so forth. We should not extract any other details, no point at all. The problem, the data should cover out or go through only the required range, only the required range. We don't want to focus on unwanted additional features. As an example, if it is rain, we don't want to collect data related to the population, which is inappropriate to our context. Even if we extract the data, there are a large number of data sets, some of features might not required. We'll discuss what are the features that are not required. As an example, sunny and the environment temperature might be. Data collection. The third one is data cleansing. Data cleansing is first focusing on data, the raw data, the collected data in here. The collected data is not a purified set of data. There are a lot of issues. These data do have, there might be some missing data or corrupted data or outliers. Many things might be there. Data collection, sorry, data cleansing. How the clean data is cleaned, how the data is cleaned, the process, the well processed data. Now we can use this data for something because data is very clean, purified, no issues, no corrupted data. Everything is well organized. Well organized sense, in the sense, means it's not something an issue. It's just well organized. Next, what we need to do is we need to understand the data analysis. How we are going to analyze the data. Whatever the analysis must be focused on based on the problem statement. Based on the problem statement, we want to focus on the data analysis. We have some initial or original situations, like time back. People starts with statistical analysis. Yeah, well, that's fine. We'll go through the same process, but we'll go through more beyond this statistical analysis. Stats provides how the data is distributed throughout and how the data is centralized and so on and so forth. We have to focus on bit more. For the analysis and visualization, we can find many things related to our context. That is very important. We'll go through this data analysis part 2. Next, the data is done. Now the work for the data is done, almost it's finished. Now it's very well, it's well defined. Now what you need to understand is build the predictive model. We are trying to develop a model which can predict something. For the predictive model, we have different kinds of algorithms. What is this algorithm, guys? We have different kinds of algorithms. What is an algorithm? Algorithm is a structured method to go through the structure, go through the application, go through the work, how it focus on, right? So if we discuss a bit more, we have K-means algorithm. We have knife-based algorithm. These kinds of algorithms are there. Now, again, what's an algorithm? It is a set of what we call these instructions. So the procedure is there we want to focus on solving a specific problem. This is a step-by-step process. As an example, step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Likewise, we have a specific mechanism that follows the structure, how it goes. Now, these algorithms might helpful for us in many circumstances, like we can classify the data sets, we can sort it, different manipulation, clustering, a lot of things that we can do. That's an algorithm. There are a lot of algorithms that we have to focus on, we have to work in day-to-day life. Then validating in the sense testing kind of thing. We are testing whether our model is strong enough to perform something. In software engineering world, you have black box testing, white box testing, stress testing, load testing. Everything what you are doing is you are testing whether this application is strong enough to handle these kinds of conditions. Black box testing, you are adding username and password, then you check it. Yeah, well, that's okay. Or as white box testing, you are going to check whether these codes are working on those conditions. Similarly, stress testing and other testings too. Now, this validation is mandatory, right? Testing is mandatory. For the model, we do validate. How to validate? We have different mechanisms, 80-20 rule and many other methods for the validation parts. I will discuss how this validation is going on. Somehow we want to test whether our applications is strong enough to predict very well. If we get a model with a prediction accuracy, that means it can predict what happens in future with an accuracy of 50%. That means if we have apples and oranges, we developed a model, then we are giving an apple, then the system do have possibility to tell it 50-50%. It's like random guess. 50-50 means accuracy, 50 means it's like random guess. 50 below the 50 means it's incorrect, isn't it? We are telling this is an apple or an orange. Then if you show an apple, then it's giving an orange. Accuracy is less than 50. Accuracy is less than 50. That means it's like no point at all. We have to throw that model away. No point at all. Accuracy is 50 means it's a random guess. There is a possibility to apple or orange. There might be a rainy day or not. It's just random. This like human, what we are telling. If I ask a question, how about tomorrow? If it is how much rain might be tomorrow? Then you might it might be a rainy day. How? Just a random guess. It's a random guess. You're just telling 50-50%. Accuracy is 50. 51% to 98-99% is a good model. 51 is like very bare strong. 99 is quite strong but very careful. Now, what the meaning of this 51 onwards? There is a possibility to predict up to some extent it's correct. 51% correct. That means if we have 100 apples, it classifies. Sorry, if you have if you have hundreds apples and oranges, it classifies 50 percentage, 51% correctly, whether it's a apple or an orange. If it is 75, 80, 90 percentage accurate, means accuracy is very good. That means if we ask uh, if we given a data set of apples and oranges, it classifies. If we will assume 10 uh, apples and oranges we have given to the system, it classifies nine apples and orange perfectly, whether it's apple or an orange. Only one is missing, one is incorrect. 90 percentage. 90 percentage onwards, you should be very careful because there is a problem known as overfitting. Right? Overfitting. Overfitting means it's fit for the data set. We will discuss during all rest of the 8 sessions. We are discussing same thing again and again. So if you got confused, don't worry. We'll practically see all of these things now, what happens in here and there. So validate in the model. So if it is above 90 means you should be very careful. Probably it's overfitted. It's fit for the data set very well, but not fit for some another data set. There is a possibility. This is the story of a prototype development up to done scan. Then deployment and model in the model. Monitoring. Deployment means it goes to the real world. It's hosted in the real world. Monitoring means we are going to keep eye on our system is working or not. So these are the basic steps of this model. Okay. Any questions? Any questions, guys, up to now? Anything to clarify? Right. Then we'll go one step ahead. How a machine learning algorithm is processing. Now, this is a sample, a flow chart kind of a thing. So we have initially new input data. New data we need to add to the system. Then what we are going to do is we are going to train to a machine learning algorithm. Then this algorithm can predict. If the prediction is correct, then no worries at all. It's very good, correct output result. It gives correct output result. Good job. If it is false, we want to retrain the algorithm using new training data. Training data means the data that we use for the train application. Once we have a data set, what we do, we split the entire data set into 80 percentage to 20 percentage of data, or 70 to 30 percentage. This is the training data set. That means if we have 100 data set, original data set, 80 of data is used for training purpose. 20 percentage we kept for testing purpose. 70 percentage used for training, 30 percentage used for testing. That's the training and testing data. Now we have training data. What we are going to do, we are going to train the ML algorithm again. Until we are getting a good result, if this algorithm is strong enough to solve this problem, until we are getting a good result, we would iterate this process again and again by adding new training data to our context, by adding new training data. Clear? Right. So we'll continue the discussion now. This is the story of this trading and doing it again and again. Next, we'll discuss a bit of process. Now we have learned about this machine learning process. It's a step-by-step process, and actually, I'm going to demonstrate you this. It's not the next video, right? Overview of the process is I'll discuss later on, not today. Most probably covers the week 4 or lesson 4 onwards, and I will demonstrate you a bit of Python work, how to work with this Python and Python environment setting and stuff, how to create a Jupyter notebook and stuff today. Then you can experiment, install all the required things and so on and so forth. Before that, we'll discuss one more point, history of machine learning, since we need to learn about something related to history. We'll go through a bit of history also.
In the 50s, AI was an emerging field where the main focus was building programs that was copying the way the humans think and act. The common perception was that by the end of the millennium, there was a point where machines will outsmart humans. It took a few decades to realize that limitation in both algorithm and computing power was so serious that many of the initial goals of AI were unreachable at the time. In the 80s, the focus shifted towards specific areas of AI. One of these areas is machine learning, which is dealing with writing programs to identify patterns without explicitly being programmed to do so. There were multiple types of machine learning algorithms that were being designed in this period, with mixed results, of course. One of these classes of algorithms was neural nets, which was inspired by the structure of the human brain. Despite the high hopes that were put into them, it became clear that there were computing limitations. This limited the applicability of neural nets. In the 2000s and 10s, the explosion in computing power, mainly fueled by GPU revolution, brought neural nets back to the spotlight. And all of a sudden, very large neural nets with many hidden layers and hidden nodes were successfully trained and spectacular results were achieved, such as language processing and image classification. These new neural nets were significantly more complex than the initial ones, with many hidden layers and hidden nodes, and this is how the term deep learning came across. And that's the brief history of machine learning.
Right. So that's some of basic introduction for you. What happens is what we call um, history of machine learning. So next we'll go to the environment that we want to work on, the Python environment. Well, we'll see how to do and what to do and how to take all of these things. Well, for that, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to set up your environment. To set up your environment, what you need to do is, first of all, you need to download what you need to do is you need to download Python, right? So what you need to do is you need to download Python. Download Python is not a hard job. Just type download Python, then you might redirect it to this kind of a place. Then click this one. Then you might now win this kind of a screen. Then you can simply click download Python. It might automatically detect your operating system and do the needful. If not, you can go for Windows, Linux, Mac, or other any other thing that you want. Since I'm in Windows environment, I can just click here and it starts downloading the software. That's all. One important point that you want to do once you are installing, make sure to add the path to the environment. Once you download it, you want to click next, 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 right? So I think you know how to install a software. Once you go for next, you need, there is a last screen of one before last. There is a question they are asking, set up the path. Make sure tick that one, unless you might be into a big trouble. A big trouble is not a big trouble, just a trouble. Right, that's the first software that you want to download and install. It takes a couple of minutes. It's not a big software, probably less than I don't know how much. It's less than. So altogether, it's 200 megabytes, right? No, it's 24 megabytes. Very small software. Right. The second software that you want to, oh, sorry. The second software that you want to install here is VS Code. Well, you can use any IDE, that's fine. Uh, I'm teaching what I'm going to do during the class time to make your life easier. Or else, if you're much familiar with something, no worries at all, you can select that one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to download not PyCharm. I'm going to download VS Code. Once I download VS Code, they will direct this kind of a place. Then click here. Then you might get into this kind of a screen. Then what you have to do is you have to click Windows, any Ubuntu, Linux versions like Debian 1 or Ubuntu. Then you can go for RPM or something. Or else you can go for Mac if you want, anything that you fit for you. Based on the architecture, whether it's 32-bit or a 64-bit or any other thing, you have to go for most specific one. Usually it's automatically detected, so you don't want to bother a lot. So you just click this one and download. Then it might say, all right, you can start downloading again. Again, it's a very small software, less than, yes, 100 megabytes. Altogether 120 megabytes maximum needed. You have a number of options to select. You can go for paid IDEs, non-paid, any other IDEs, or any other thing. But my general advice is we should select the most light version for our work, because it makes sense for us. It's much easy for us. So what can we do is we can easily save our machine resources, your RAM, your processor, and many other things. So always go for the light version, the simplest version. If the work is done, that's it. In the other hand, I don't think so. You want to go for a paid version. It's very expensive one. Second is no point at all. So VS Code is one of the easiest software that, IDE that I can propose you, but it's up to you to decide what is the OS that fit for you. You can go for that one. I'm totally okay with that. Some of ultimate objective is you should be able to run a code properly. Next, what we can do once we install both of those things, then yes. Default path default path that's it. Guys, you also can download and install these two softwares, Python and VS Code. Once you complete, let me know, guys, or else I'll wait around 5 minutes probably to set up your environment quickly? Then if you have any questions, you can ask even, that's good. Right. I believe now we have downloaded and installed both softwares. Now I will go to my IDE and I will show you what I'm going to do. Go to Shine Screen again. Boom. This is the Visual Studio Code. There's some software, basic software, easy software for work. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new Jupyter notebook. I will discuss what is this Jupyter notebook and how to work on this Jupyter notebook. For that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control Shift and P. Once it pressed these three buttons, uh, you might get something like this, or else something might like this. This is that I've recently used. That's why it comes to the top. If sometimes it might be not yours, so you need type Jupyter Notebook, JUP, just type that kind of thing. Then you can find this new Jupyter Notebook. You just click this one, then it will create a new Jupyter Notebook. For you, there might be a pop-up in here to install a small component. Click that one and install that component also. That is mandatory. If not, you are unable to work with this Python environment. I will give a couple of minutes to install this small add-on also. Right. You could restart your machine. I think you have downloaded and everything is set up now. Restart your machine, then join again. Probably then your environment is fixed. I will wait until you fix. I don't think so. It takes time. We'll wait around 2 minutes. Quickly rejoin to the meeting again. Right. I think now you have a Python file which is known as IPython. This is a different file type, guys. This is a IPython file. This is one of what we call one of oldest mechanism to work with Python, a Jupyter notebook, but yet very powerful than a normal Python file because of this cell environment. That means this is one single cell, so you can write the code and execute. Then you can go for another cell and you can write the code and execute. So it's very easy to work with this kind of a Jupyter environment. You might have this Anaconda environments and other stuff. I don't think so because it takes a lot of computational resources. That's why I haven't advised you to go for this kind of heavier softwares. To test whether your application is working or not, sorry, first of all, we'll save the file, Control S. Then you may go to your favorite place to save your file. Then you can give a file name that you want. I will give the first name, test1. The file type is JSON. Don't worry, that is the file type that should be. Don't change it. Keep it as it is as a JSON file. Then save. Now your file is saved. One more small configuration is mandatory. Uh, I have switched off the captain. Right. You may go to the file and tick this auto save. Probably if you haven't installed, if you have installed just now, this is not in your screen. Auto save. Make sure to tick it. Right? Then you don't want to bother about this saving every time. Control S, Control S, Control S, and every time it's automatically saving, which makes your life much easier. We'll check whether our environment is good or bad, or whether we can write the application or not. So we'll write a print statement. This is like Java system.out.println. Within print, we'll write hi, something that you want. Anything, a string is okay. Write it, then control enter. Once you control enter, you should get the output in here, whatever things that you have added in here. Quickly check your environment is okay or not. If it is not, let me know what's the error that you got. How about you? Any issues? There might be an installation required in sometimes, not sure. All good? check somehow. I think you have done right. I found a video, but no need ne checking. If you guys, you want anyone? No, right? You don't want. All right, nice then. So what we can do next? We'll write something. Well, what we can do? We'll go for a print statement. Yes. Right, this is the print statement. One more thing I want to teach you. This is known as markups. Like what we call this one, some information in a cell. But basically, what we need to do is we need to understand these things are not executable. I will show you one. Uh, I think you can see my screen. Yeah, can, right. Uh, Once you go here nearby, hover over, you can find two things: code and a markdown. Click this markdown. Click here. Then you add something. This is no. Application for Python. Just text. Then what you need to do is you just need to press the same thing, Control Enter. Now it's not executing, but it's like a comment, but it's not a comment. It's like a some of topic. You can add some hash signs if I'm not mistaken. When you execute it, then this is a comment. You can add a single. Right? So this is a comment. I can see it's a commit, it's executed. That's why it's success. In this case, it's not a commit. It's kind of topic. Right. If you are familiar now, I will show you a bit of explanations related to Python, just a small work with you. First of all, the print statement. Print statement. This is the print statement. Then some text goes here, here. So that's a print statement. Very nice. We'll define some variables. Define variables. Now, since you are familiar with Java, we have a lot of data types in Java, right? Boolean, byte, short, int, float, long, double, char, right? It's a big story, but in our context, we don't want to bother at all. You just tell the variable name, student name, student name. And all you need to do is you can define anything that you want. So in this case, we'll add the name. Then we can add anything that you want. You don't want to define the data type. You don't want a semicolon, anything you don't want. Only consideration is the scope with a tab. I will discuss once it comes to this if statement, what happens in here. Once it comes to these variables, this is a string variable. How I know it's a string variable? Once I go to this element, this variable name, then you can see it's a variable. You can see it's a variable defined as a literal, right? Even if you want, you can go for single quotes in this context. Right? You can go. In Java, you might see a lot of differences in here, but in Python, we don't have. Age, we'll assume still I'm 18. Nowadays, okay. Yes. So we'll go for age. It's again a liter of age. Anything that you want. Is married. Boolean one. True. Any number of variables that you can add nowadays at all, just give the variable name and the value. No need a semicolon or any other thing. We'll add some print statements. If you want, you can You can execute this one. Outputs, the reason behind is we don't have a print statement. Now the value of these cells are, though you have run all the information in here, now you can see the cell number 5. After cell number 5, these variables are valid. I will show you what is this valid means. I can add a print statement, which once I execute it, I will get this value in here. This is a big difference in between a Java file and a Python file. This IPython file. Once it comes to these IPython files, we have to run with these kinds of small cells and get the work done. If you want something else, yeah, well, you can. The shortcut for this cell means, guys, cell for guys, escape and B. Escape and B. Then new cells might be generated. And then another one, print student aid, student name, and we'll execute this one. Good. Print that is married. Good. Ashes, right? It's very easy. Programming language, print statement. One of what we call a comment I have added. I have added few variables, right? Then we'll do some bit more. We'll go to what we call. We'll go for operators. We'll go for operators. We'll add 2 variables. We'll go for number 1 to 12. Sorry, we don't want a semicolon. Number 2, we'll add 5. Then you can do any numerical operations. If you are not familiar with this kind of thing, don't worry. You can add another variable and do the addition. I'm lazy, so I'm directly adding here. No, sorry. Wrong. 2. Execute. Well, it's perfect. You can do addition, subtraction, multiplication, any other thing that you want without any problem. Even if you want greater than or less than, yeah, well, Boolean output, false. Anything that you can do in here. Similarly, you can define different variables and you can go for Boolean algebra, Boolean values as an example. It's good. It's good. False is short. False. Then you can print. Sorry, true. Is good and is short. We'll execute and see what happens in here. Yeah, well, it's false because true and false, it's false. Obviously, we have another method. We can write end. Then we'll execute. Perfect. Right? We have a lot of things, AND operation, O operation. What about the short circuit end? Why I'm telling, because you people are from Java background, unless you might be confused what I'm doing with Python, and you might try to apply all Java concepts to here. Short circuit AND. No. Oh, well, I don't have this one. Python do not support for this short circuit end, and usually the Python people use this and like this, and like this, right? And like this, not the ampersand sign. It's in there. I have seen a lot of places, but I have seen a lot of traditional Python developers. They follow this AND operation and O operation. So the output is true because true or false, it's true. Similarly, you can do anything. operators and the process operator proceedings and everything is exactly same. There's no much differences. So I'm going too fast or not? Manageable? Shape? Good. Because it's just a small recap. Our subject is something else. I'm doing something totally different thing, right? I'm doing programming fundamentals. So that's why I just want to recap because you don't have any experience in Python means last time, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't done this one last time. I feel that's the reason behind that student was lazy to do the programming because they haven't even set up the environment until week 3 or 5. That's why I thought this should be the second lesson. Right. Similarly, we can do all if else operations and stuff. We'll see a small if operation. We'll add what? Sorry, age was good. Age to 45 something. Yeah, well, if what I'm going to do is I'm going to check if sorry, that's going. If age is greater than 18, scope is different, guys. It's a colon and enter. No no curly brackets. No curly brackets. That's a difference in here. And this tab is mandatory. There is a tab space. This tab space is mandatory. If you go for back, that means you are out of this if scope. If you want to go to this if scope, it's mandatory to have this tab. Then you go for print, anything that you want. Let's see what is the output. Perfectly, it's an old man, yes, of course. Then you can go for else as usual. Then you can go for print. Good boy. Yeah, go for a smaller edge. Now I'm going to change this cell. So I'll show you what happens in here. Now the cell is 30, sorry, 16. Now the cell number is 18. What I want to do is I want to change this variable. Now see the sequence, I'm changing it to 4. And I'm going to execute. Now it's 16 and 18. Now I'm going to execute this one. Now it's 19. So 19, then I'm going to execute this one. Now I'm going to execute this one. Now it's 20. You see, this might be happen, especially if you have run something somewhere like this all of a sudden. If you have executed this one, now though it's 4, the sequence wise it should be 21, isn't it? We'll execute this one. It's 21. See, now it's 21. 21 onwards means this cell might be impact anything after that. Got it? So be careful what once you are doing these kind of things. For a beginner, there are some possibilities to have mistakes. Any questions? All good. Perfect. Very fast. How about the others? Hard, easy, shape. All right. We'll go for one more point. If age greater than, we'll assume it's 15. Print and that something. I'm just adding some random words. And I'm going back. L if. This is like else if in Java. Then H, we'll assume. We'll change this logic. H is greater than 0 to and age is lesser than 15. Age is greater than 15 and age is lesser than 25. Good. We go for one more. Now you can see this, it's scoped down to elif. What I'm going to do, how I'm going to back, shift tab. I'm pressing shift tab, else, then add a colon, print, okay. We'll add an edge. Oh, sorry, I'm going to add this edge. So it's a bit far away, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm using this hand, then I'm going to take to this one here. Right. Hand and drag and drop to the place that you want. Right. Now the edge is 2. See, now I'm going to execute here. Yeah, it's bad. I'm lazy. So what I'm going to do, no need to go for another cell. I will do the same cell. And I don't want to drag or do anything. It's bad. Perfectly. Yes. We'll go for something 22. Ah, it's good. Perfect. We'll go for edge. Unbelievable. 120. 220. It's okay. Still fine. Interesting, right? So as if else, you can do similar kind of lot of algorithms. Sorry, similar kind of programs that you can write. We do a small work then. We can do. Yeah, we do an activity. Sorry?
Sir, can you get the lecture recording today?
Yeah. Lecture recording is in there.
So no, sir, I previous I lost my connection and previous joined.
No worries. Recording is there.
Okay.
Don't worry. Recording is there. Always I'm keeping records because I know it's like bit work for some of students. Right, that's fine. So the recording is there. If something gone wrong, now is you can go up and down and check what you have to do and what you need to do. Right. We'll do a small work. Using your Python file, you just develop a small code. Like you have to define two strings. One is apple and the other one is orange. Then ask no user input. It might be hard for you since I haven't done. We'll do easy. You can define a variable like this, similar this. Will define as height in centimeters or something. That's fine, right? Height is less than 25 short, 25 to 150 okay, 150 above giraffe. I will give around 10 minutes you to do same extract same thing, similar kind of thing that you need to do. Meanwhile, if you got any question, let me know. I will help you definitely. You can share your screen and ask any question if you want. Guys, the numbers, that's fine, right? You can define 0 to 50 short, 50 to 200 medium or something, then 200 to above giraffe, or anything that you want. I just want 3 scopes. That's it. Right. How about the things, guys? Done? Any questions? Confused? All good? Tell me if you have any questions, guys, quickly. Then I can help you probably. I believe you're okay and it's manageable. So once it comes to this Python environment, we have some extra types, like not just Boolean, byte, short, int, float, long, double. Some additional types are there. One type is much familiar for you. For in your terms, it's an array. In this context, it is list. All right. We'll see. Since you know this array list might be much easier to grab. These lists, dictionaries, maps are very important once it comes to this data science work, right? So I will show you, but I think you can see my screen. I think you can see my screen. Can? Yes. Good. All right. So we'll come. We'll discuss what are these lists and how to define a list. It's an array in your terms, defining, working with the lists, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work with a list. How to work with a list? We have to define a list, not like Java. Java, we have to focus on many things, but here, just the variable name, I can add my list, anything that you want, then add square bracket as usual, then you can add the list elements in here. We'll add a car and a van and anything, anything you like. Bot. Then you can do the same extract, same mechanism in Java, which is Java. It's an array, right? It's an array. So similar to that, this list consists of indexing, zeroth, first and second indexing. So if you want to print car, what we want to do is we want to go for the list, then we want to go for the zeroth index. How to go? Extract same my list, then square brackets, zeroth index. Executed, perfect. Similar to that, 0, 1, 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3 in here and execute this in no list out of range. In Java, you might get array out of bounds exception, isn't it? You're getting an array out of bound exception. Similar to that one. In here, we have list index out of range. So within the range, we can do whatever we want. We'll go to 2 and we'll execute perfectly bot. Another difference between the Java and Python, you can add something like this. In Java, we want to define the data type initially, then it's a specific data type. But in this case, you can add anything that you want. Oh, sorry. Then you can add something like this. Anything you want. No problem at all. 0, 1, 2. We'll go to 3, 4. We'll go for 3. Now, perfect. No issues. Go to 4. Execute. 2. Perfect. No issues. We'll go to 5. We'll execute. Yeah, well, nothing. So any data type can store inside this list. Apart from these basic theories, you can go for more detailed information, but I believe it's much enough for you. One thing, indexing. Once it comes to this indexing, we have nice indexing mechanism. Guys, I'm going to add minus indexing, minus 2. Well, it's totally different than the stuff that you have learned. Right? Minus 2. Minus 2 will execute and see what has happened. Oh, great, it's 2. How comes? 1, 2, not really. 1, 2, not really. There. It starts from here. 1, 2. You got it? The indexing mechanism starts from -1, -2 kind of thing. We'll go for -1. Perfect. This is -1. Start now. Java, we start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and comes to the right hand side. In Python, it allows -1, -2, -3 wise, can goes into this direction, right to left. Not only that, but also we have slicing mechanism. I'll show you one more interesting. There are a lot of interesting things I can show you, but it's not in my major scope. We'll execute. It's 1 to 2, it's WAN. 0, 1 to 2. It's here. 1 to 4. What about now? Perfect. Nice. 1, sorry, 0, 1, counts 1, 2, perfect, 2, 3, yes, 3, 4 is this one, so it's not counted, right? So it's 1, 2, and 3. 4 is not counted, 1, 2, and 3 is counted. This is known as slicing. So you can go for even -1 to 4. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's not. -1, 4. Confused. I can't do anything. We'll go from -1 to -4. Oh, no, I can't see anything. So it's not allowed. We'll go from 1 to -4. Well, it's something right? So a lot of interesting things are there. I don't want to make you into a big trouble now. If it is a programming class, I'll make you into a big trouble and enjoy. But this time, I don't want to make you into a big trouble and enjoy with you. So you decide the effort that you need to give now, right? So a bit of weird things are there for especially from double OP background student, right? And you can add the elements, you can delete the elements, many things that you can do similar to the Python. Whatever you want, you can do. You can remove elements. Some of methods are there. As an example, we will go for mylist.pop. Mylist.pop brackets, right? Perfect. Popped one, right? Sorry. One, good. Pops the last element, stacks. This is considered as a stack, so pop and push. This is the pop taking out. First one take out. First option, first time it takes out. Second option it takes out. What about this? Just print my list. My list, right? We'll execute. Well, perfect. The remaining stuff is gone. The first one is gone. Second one is gone. So the remaining stuff is printing. So just here we can take down this variable name. If it is in Python, you might get index location, right? Because arrays are objects, so you will get the reference variable where it stays in here. Right. Well, that's nice. We have these kinds of lot of fun things, lot of experimental things that you can do. Please do a lot of things because very important, guys, to learn all of these things very well, unless it might be a big trouble for you in later part. So spend hours, number of hours that you want, the number of hours defined by yourself. The other concept is sets, right? Sets do not have a what we call index. That's the point that you need to understand. How to define a set. It's another type. Show you like sets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to add a set. My set. Then I can add brackets. That's it. Right? The thing in here is it's mutable and not duplicate elements, and it's an unknowed. All right, we'll see what is this story. We'll add 1 2 3 4 4 5 6. So 5 6 very nice. Execute. Yeah, no issues. Good. Add print set. One, two, three, four, five, six. Perfect. Now what is at all? Right. Now what is at all? We'll add a duplicate. Now we'll add one. Execute. One gone. We'll add two. Gone. Let 7 or something. 9. So duplicates are removed. If there are a lot of duplicates in this set, what it does is it just remove all these duplicates and keep the unique values. That's the point in this sets. Right. So yeah, anything else? Yeah, that's one of interesting point that I want to tell you. Sets usually without duplicates we are using, and we have different kinds of methods that you can use in relevant places. Methods are there again, like this pop. We have my set dot something that you can add to this situation. We'll add something kind of thing, then you can do many things that you want. Yeah, well, nothing. I don't want. We'll add 5. We'll see something like this. I'm not sure I'm going extremely fast like a rocket. Huh? It's like a rocket, too hard to grasp. All right. Okay, right. So sets, that's a very small interaction. It should be like 4 hours of discussion for a set, but I just given 4 minutes of information on set. Next, we can go for dictionaries. Dictionaries are also indexed and unordered, and it's probably it's changeable. So we'll do in here like a key value there. Since like you much familiar, at least you have some understanding related to JSON, you can understand what is this key and value, right? Key and value. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a key and value for this dictionary. Dictionary, right? I have added dictionary. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a dictionary. My dic one. Then again, I'm going to add like a map. Exactly same like map. Difference is I'm going to add key one. This is a variable that you can add. Sorry, this is a key, and this is a value. Similarly, you can add any number of keys and values as much as you want. Key 2. You can add value 2. Right. Anything that you can add, guys, if you want, you can. Probably next day onwards, I'm not typing because it takes time. I'll prepare all of this. I have already prepared. I want to execute and show you. Which was done for the last page. So I have all the things prepared. So I want to execute and show. First day, I'm just showing all of these things to get you up and running. Well, nice. No issues at all. How to get a value out? You can go for one. My dic one. I have gone to my dic one. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to print. Print my dic one. Then I want to specify what is the key that I want to access to that. What I want to do is I want to add a square bracket. Then we'll add within double quotes what is the key that you want to add I'm lazy, so I have pasted it here. We'll execute. Yeah, perfectly. Value gives the. This is the key. This is the value. So the key what I want to do is in here. So I press 2. If I want key 2, I can change to key 2. Execute gives value 2. What about this value 2 comes to here? Then sorry, I don't have that kind of a key. It's a value. So it gives an error. Sorry, key error. I don't have this kind of a key. From where you found this key, then I have to say sorry. So we need to key. So well, that's the story. This is unordered because there's no specific 0th index, first, second, third, and indexes like that. It's just based on the key and the value. Most probably this is very important data type dictionaries, because whenever you are processing JSONs, it's very important to learn these structures very well. So it's quite important. So it's quite important to understand all of these things. Since I haven't done looping, I will do loops along with this dictionary. That makes life easier. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add few more things. This one. Add G3. We'll add value 3. We'll add key 4. We'll add value 4. Right. Yeah. Since I don't want, I just connect it. Perfect. I have added 1, 2, 3, 4 keys. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 values. What I'm going to do, I'm going to iterate through this key and value pairs using a for loop. For a standard for loop that you have learned in Java, it starts with for within brackets, integer I equals 0, I less than 100, semicolon I plus plus, within curly brackets you are writing system.out.println. I'm correct, right? So that's the story. Here it's a small difference, guys. It's like for each loop in Python, Java. For each loop, for each loop, how you have to access similar kind of thing that we have to do. What I'm going to do is for, then I'm going to add x in mydic. Then I'm going to run throughout this dict1. Then I'm going to print x. That's the output. I don't know. Let's see. Perfect. Key 1, key 2, key 3, key 4. Oh, it prints keys. Key 1, key 2, key 3, key 4. Oh, nice. It iterates through the keys. Well, what about a mechanism of dot items? Yeah, well, I think it's items. Yes, I think. Yeah, it's items. Dot items. Items will execute key and value. Perfect. Right? Perfect key and value. Usually I'm giving a question for the Python students. Now I just want values. Can you give a try? So I don't want to mess up you now. It takes time to think and a lot of experiments and so on and so forth. Well, you can do a lot of things using these dictionaries. So learn these dictionaries very well. So you have tuples, and many other things are there. So I have shown you how to work with if condition, how to switch is not in there, how to add a for loop using another example, right? So some of advanced data structures, lists, dictionaries, maps, you have discussed these things. Yeah, well, that covers the basics of Python. I know it's super speed I have gone through. for us. It should be a brush up actually. What should be, it should be a brush up. The students do have some Python experience, and I want to recap the stuff. But unfortunately, since you haven't done anything, sometimes it might be a nightmare. But well, it's not a big work to do. It's just a basic thing. I'm pretty sure within couple of hours you could be able to grab all of these things very well. Shall we do a small question, guys? What I want to do is, you want to define a list. I'm not going to other things. You want to define a list, and I want to print. Think there are values. I will add some values. This list consists of one. This is the order: 1, 12, 2, 45, then 6 or something, 5. That's fine. 5 again, and randomly adding 89, then minus value might be hard, 4. All right. You have to define an array and add these values, and I want to print these values in ascending order, right? I will give 10 minutes to think. If you are lazy, you might find a shortcut. Right, start. 10 minutes. Yes, one completed. Others, how about your input? Done or not? Yet to do, doing. There is a method, guys. Easy methods. Right, somehow. You can experiment a bit more. We'll take a small break, 50 minutes break, and we'll start the lesson again. All right, 3:30 we are going to start the session again. So you can go here and there, jump, sleep, or do whatever you want. Have a cup of tea, and please be back to the seat perfectly at 3:30. Sometimes it might be 1 or 2 minutes up or down. That's fine. 3:30. We'll keep the time. Right, I believe you all are back to the seats. So we'll start our discussion again. We have started uh, the latter part. We have gone to now some of artificial intelligence and how the processes, how it was, how these model creation and stuff. Then we have started the second component. We have focused on Python. So basically, I have given the environment setup and information first of all. Then I have started some of basics related to the Python, and then we have discussed some of conditionals, looping, and structuring of a Python application. So that's up to now. So we'll continue this discussion again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate you like very important points related to the Python application development. Uh, Now, the very first thing that I want to emphasize is working with import statements. Right? So Python provides thousands of packages, guys. Lot of packages that we have. Similar to Java that you have learned. Java, if I give an example, scanner class. So what you are doing, java.util.scanner. I'm correct, right? Java.util.scanner. So it imports. Similarly, in our context, Python context also do have to follow the same kind of thing. I will show you uh, what is this package and package management repository and some of information. Basically, Python provides package management repository or a mechanism called pip. Right? So if you just type pip and if you go to pip, you can see this PyPy location, PyPy project. It's a package management system for basically Python. And if I click this one, uh, you might redirect to a page like this, and whatever the stuff is in here, whatever the stuff is in here. So almost all the packages, almost, nearly almost like nearly 100 out of 100 packages on here. So if you want any package, you can search in here. As an example, pandas. Pandas is a package. So you want to search it, you can find panda packages. But very important point is you should understand some of the time there might be some small deviations. So you need to select the most appropriate package. So all of these are packages, guys. All of these are packages. There are 1,000+ packages might be. Yeah, 10,000+ packages for pandas. It's a very uh, long set of things are there for different purposes. For different purposes. So that's pandas, numpy. So all of these are different packages like scanner class. Like scanner class, we have packages. So what happens in these packages? These are all lot of predefined methods are there. We can use those things. Someone help for us, right? Someone help for us unless we need to write all the things. So some one of developer done and that student completed so that application was completed, right? So we can use it. Probably let me check. One of my student, one of my data science student written a package for his MSc work and send me today itself something. Let me check what is the package he has completed. Yeah, Sky and Do. We'll see. The brand new package. So this is the first time that someone is looking this one. Sky and Do. We'll see what is this package. Is this package? Perfect. Yes. So yeah, This is a package. So one of my student done this package, right? I'm happy with that. So yeah, pip install sky and do. Yeah, still no information. Yeah, we have Nishan Abhishek. This is the student. My student done. So the maintenance details are there, right? And we'll see whether is there any information. Home package still not. I saw his GitHub link. Probably he has deleted the packaging. Sometimes that might be the reason. And release not still not probably. This version we have 0.1. The alpha version details are there. Still not added. Yeah, well, no worries at all. Download files. Yeah, we have uh, hashes and everything is created. Good. We have already one star. How comes it? Right, there is one star. Right. I think he kept it as private yet. So the repository is yeah, someone. This is someone I don't know. Right. So interesting. Right. So these are packages, guys. See, even you can write a package and host it in here. Right. So it might be a little bit work for you, but that's fine. Right. So we'll see whether you can do or cannot do or something that you can work on, and we'll see what is going on and how it works and so on and so forth. Right. Good. This is one of latest version. Very first time someone is looking because he sent it to me to check the stuff. So yeah, I can send a reply. Right, good. So all of these things are in here. For our case, some of very popular packages are there, pandas to manipulate, extract, and do some of CSV files. I'll show you what is a CSV file and stuff. Then NumPy, it's not too much using, but better to use whenever there are some array kinds of things. And we have to use Matplotlib. We have to use Seaborn. So these are like visualization packages and any other package that fit for our case we'll use. Right. Yes. So basically that's fine. So that's the story. That's the point that we can see. Yeah. Right. So I'll stop the presentation. Then we'll go to the just right. We'll go to our usual place. Now, how to take all of these information for us. For that, we want to install these packages. How to install these packages? You need to go to terminal, new terminal. Then what you need to do is you need to add the name and the installation. As an example, pip install pandas. If you want to install, you want to type pip install pandas. How I know all of these things? You see, I'll share it again. I'll go to my tab. You'll see pandas. Right, we'll see this one. Says, see here, see this is my mouse pointer. See, pip install pandas. All you need to do is copy to clipboard, then paste. Or, or else you can type anything, numpy, click here. If you want numpy, click here. Then you can see pip install numpy. So this is the structure. This is the most common structure. Pip install and the name, right? So we'll go for my students one, sky and do Oh, sorry. Here for that, pip installs can do. See, right? Easy. So that's how you need to focus on. Anyone can do actually. Even you can write a Python file, write Python project, and you can host it in pip location. Well, that's interesting. Right? That's interesting. That's a story that you need to follow. So that's the point that you need to go now onwards. I will go to I have installed almost these packages, guys, so I don't want to bother at the moment. So you can install pip install pandas, click here, then enter. It will automatically do everything for you. Then close the IDE, then open the IDE again. I will give it's not taking hours, taking just a couple of minutes. Just give a try and let me know if you got anything confused. Right, start. Right, I think you have done a good. Pandas is installed. Well, we'll start with working with these kinds of libraries. Again, I'm going to create a new cell, created a new cell. So how to import these kinds of things? You need to type import pandas as imports pandas. That's it, right? So import pandas, then it's importing. Now in Java, you have to start at the beginning, right? At the top you are doing, but in here you don't want to bother. You can type anywhere you like. Anywhere you like, you can write these import statements. Right. Once it comes to this environment, this Python environment, one of biggest advantage that we have is we can create an alias for this. How to create an alias, or what is an alias? Alias is a nickname. As an example, once you are doing SQL, probably you have done a column names, big columns names given as something. Can you remember? Similar thing what we are doing in here. We are telling we have pandas package in here. I'm giving a nickname as PD because I'm lazy. Here in after pandas means PD. Here in after pandas means PD. Right. Easy. Then what we want to do is I want to read a CSV file. This is the most common and most frequent activity that we need to do. I will show you one CSV file. Give me a second. I will show you a sample CSV file. Okay. I'll share my entire screen, probably that makes sense. Yeah. Right. So this is one of what do you call it? This is an Excel file. This is an Excel file. I'll take this one. This is an Excel. You can see it's type Microsoft Excel worksheet. I have opened it, and you can see well-structured tabular data in here. This is a well-structured tabular data. This is a data set. This is known as a data set. We have rows and columns of features, and the data is in here. You can see a lot of information. Now, this is the most common method that up to now you have used, but I'm going to use only this sheet. There are sheet 2, sheet 3 and stuff, which is not required for me. I'm just focusing on this sheet and just this data. So some of additional information in here. So what I'm going to delete is I'm going to delete, unless you might get into a confusion. Right now, done. Columns and rows are here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to save this Excel in a different type file. Save as, instead of Excel workbook, I'm going to select as CSV, comma delimited value, UTF-8 type selected. The difference in between these Excel and CSV, there are a lot. In general terms, most of the time processing is much easy because it's just use commas. CSV files using commas, comma separated value. I'll save it in a different name, CSV file. No, test CSV, test CSV, test CSV desktop. Save. Nice. They're telling some additional information. That's fine. That's what I abstractly wanted. So I close it. Now I have two files. One is an Excel workbook. The other one is a comma separated. You can see it's a comma separated file. Still, you can open this one in Excel. No worries at all. See, it's perfectly opening. And I don't have the additional work space in here. Even if you want, I can click here, right click, open with Notepad or something. Yeah, even Visual Studio Code, we can open it. Now you can see the entire data set as comma separated values. See, this is a comma. Values are separated using commas. That's why we are doing comma separated file. Even if you have, if you want space, additional spaces, you can add. If there is another type, tab separated, space separated and stuff. Those are not too much in my context, so I'm not going to worry about that. So I have used one of CSV file. You can see it's a CSV file, but what we call this Excel files, we are unable to perform this operation, right? So that's how I have created a CSV file. Apart from that, there are a lot of methods to create a CSV file and do anything that we want. All right, so second. Right, I will share screen again. Now you know what is CSV. You just learn a lot, guys. Right? You just learn a lot. I'm just giving very high level information for you what is happening in here and there. Right, I have imported pandas as PD. Now I'm going to read the information. Read the information means I'm going to take this information, the data inside this comma separated file. Now you have seen what's a comma separated data. I'm going to store all these values into a one single variable. This storage known as in our context as data frame. To let it to as a data frame, I'm using df, but you can use any variable name in here. For my life easiness, I have added as df or a data frame. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use pandas framework to read this CSV file. To that, what I'm going to do, df PD, why it's PD, I'm going to use pandas. If I'm going to use pandas, I have to use PD dot read CSV. This is a method in pandas. After executing this code, what happens? Everything will be stored in this variable. What is the file that I want to read? I want to read test CSV, right? Test CSV file. Just even if you want Excel, you can read Excel, but it requires a lot of process. Hence, I'm not going for additional effort. It makes not good for us. So what we have to do is we have to just read this CSV file as it is. It much easier. We'll execute this file and we'll see what happens. Well, perfect. Now it is all good. What we can do now, all the information stored in this variable. So we'll print f dot head execute. Perfect. Whether I'm correct or not. Yeah, see the values. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So all the information is stored in here. customer department, gender. Simply we have 421 rows and 20 columns in this tabular data set. It gives this information. We have number of methods in pandas. Now you know how to read a CSV file from using pandas and how to add it into a pandas framework. Sorry, panda variable. So I'm going to do some small modification without print statement. It works perfectly. See, so I don't want to bother with these print statements every time. So you just give a try without that. Some more methods are there. Head, tail, we have tail method, or else you can just add df as it is. Now once you type df, you might get the entire data set. Top and the bottom values are printed. See, all the columns are very clearly exactly as it is, it's shown. We'll go and we'll see whether I'm telling true or false. Yes, so all the information here perfectly take into a pandas framework. See, all of these are stored in a pandas framework. Correct? So that's it. Easy, right? Easy. Once you done this work, I think your life is much easier. Much easier. We'll do some more additional work really, using this pandas framework. We'll go for one of columns and we'll see the values. Anything that you want, order, date. We'll go for date. We'll see what is the output of this date. We'll see df date. What you need to do is df. This is the date column I'm copying in here. Control C. Going to the cell. I'm going to the cell. I'm adding df within square brackets. I'm going to add the column as it is. Will execute and see. I have to do some more thing also. Well, it's working. Information retrieved. I have filtered out only specific column details. We have a method called dot values, not value, values. We'll execute. Yeah, we can get every single value in this data structure, this value as a single array. All of these are installed into an array, so it's our life is much easier. Got it? So now you have data. You know what is this data. You know how to collect this data. You know how to get the data into your IDE. You know where the data is storing. Then after, it's like nothing. It's like nothing. So we'll do a small activity. You want to install sklearn, a package called sklearn. I will type it in here. Sklearn. This is very important. This is very important. We want to do this sklearn package. You download it into your IDE and let me know if you got any errors, issues or something as a self-study practical. Same thing, you can go to pip repository and copy and paste this sklearn, then check whether we have a pip installation, or else if you are too lazy, if you want to get your hands dirty and if you want an adventure, you can just type pip install sklearn. If it is worked, you are lucky. If it is not, no worries at all. Still, you can go for the pip repository and copy the link and paste it in here. Once you're done, close the IDE, open it again. I will give a couple of minutes. Guys, scalan, sk dash lan. Sk lan. Sorry, scikit dash lan. Sorry, scalan means the short name like that. Scikit lan. Scikit is CEIKIT dash LERN. Scikit lan. It might take a couple of minutes maximum, not 10. I don't think so, more than 2 minutes. One installed. How about the others? How many of you alive still, guys? How many of you alive? One alive. Good. Other two alive or not? Hold it. Right, now we'll continue. Don't worry, recording is in there, so something gone wrong. Notice you can wake up anytime and do the work. Right. Well, now I will start you to direct to another important discussion. So I will share my screen again. So Scalar, and I believe you have installed, guys. I will stop the screen. I will stop this adapter. Stopped. Right. New tab. Now, what is this scikit-learn or sklearn? It's nice package. You just type sklearn. It's a short form for scikit-learn. Machine learning in Python. So your life is, the entire life is in here now. What you need to do is you need to click here. Then you can find all the information that you need to learn, understand, and even some examples are here. It's giving machine learning in Python, simple and efficient tool for predictive data analysis, accessible to everybody, reusable, various context. You can see my screen, right? Built on NumPy, SciPy, and Matplotlib, open source, commercially usable. Right. So what you need to do is you need to focus on these things. You can learn one by one later on. Right. We'll go for getting start as usual. How to start with getting start? Click this one and learn all of these things. It's really easy to understand, guys. It's just 2 lines for everything, right? As an example, fit method. Fit classifier. Don't worry, I'll teach you a few of the things. Now you don't want to bother about all of these things in here and there, right? My general advice is go to API, then you can see a lot of information in here, right? Lot of information in here. You just go through these things. We are learning some of these things from here. It's very lengthy one, but that's fine. You can learn many things from here. And if your installation wasn't success, you can go to here and you can go to pip install. That's fine. It's common for any user. Then you can go for sklearn package in here. Right. Since we have done everything installation and we have done most of the work, probably we are ready to start Python, and we are start to go through machine learning. Any questions up to now? Sometimes it's overwhelming work for you, I'm sure, right? I'm sure it's overwhelming work now. Everything comes to your head, might be a really hard work, but I will give some more additional information, and I will give time to experiment these things. Before I let you to do so many experiments, we have different kind of algorithms. One is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and many other things. Once it comes to the supervised learning, we have different algorithms here. You can see linear models, support vector machines, naive-based decision trees, and some neural networks, supervised neural network models, and we have unsupervised learning mechanisms, Gaussian and clustering, right? Density estimations. Some important points are here. Further, we have natural neural network models, unsupervised. Further, we have model selection and evaluation. How to check our models are working or not well, and visualization, plotting, data transformation. This should be like in top because we want to do data pre-processing, feature engineering, feature extraction. Everything comes to here. Then loading the data sets. We have learned a sample loading of data sets. So this is one of very beginning. Then some of computational performance and other stuff. Then model persistent, whether the system works as it is, pitfalls and dispatching. These are two bit advanced for you. I don't focus on these two topics. Apart from that, these topics, I'm going to discuss many topics in here. Usually we are starting with supervised learning algorithms as usual. Uh, Before that, I can give some time you guys to check and learn, to get familiar with this documentation, because almost all the algorithms that we want to implement and we want to use is it in here. So your life is much easier once you are familiar with this implementation. Apart from this implementation, we have some additional uh, libraries too. Yes, agreed. But sklearn is much easy, guys, because if we learn one algorithm, we can use that algorithm for other all the algorithms too. That's the most important point that I want to emphasize here. Okay, I will give 10 minutes you guys to check what is this project, what is this code base, what they are doing, what are these algorithms. You just go through what are these documentation, what are these information and other stuff. I don't want to stress you. You just go through and see what other things are there. Just leisurely see what is this, what is that, and how these things are written, who written, actually who written. Then you will wonder, who written, right? Just check all of this information what is in there, and so on, so forth. I just give 10 minutes probably you guys to check what are the information in there, then we'll start the discussion again. Right, guys, I'm going to do an interesting introduction for you. I'm going to give you international recognized certification from this course, not from here, um, but it's very expensive. 50,000 for that certificate. Do you like? How many of you like? 50,000. The course and the certification is 50,000. Don't like? Any of you? All right. Discounted 40,000. No one. Discounted 25,000. Still not. Discounted 15,000. 10,000. Come on, guys. International data science certification is giving for 10,000. No need. 5,000. What should I do now? Even 5,000 people don't like. 3,500 rupees. No? Six. All right, guys. Then, if you are really poor nowadays at all, I will give it free of charge. Here you go. I will share my screen and I will give this world recognized. It's actually nice. I just kidding you. Here you need to go to Kaggle, right? Kaggle.com. Click here. Then this is actually international recognized. So you are a recognized person after completing all of these things. You can go for other things. I'm just jumping into here. Courses. Click here. Right. Once you move to this page, just scroll down. You can find Introduction to Programming, Python, Introduction to Machine Learning, Pandas. Okay. So these are different certification courses that they are giving. Even they are not getting even a cent. It's totally free of charge, and some of activities are really hard. Actually, guys, it's really hard to think how to solve that kind of problems. My general advice is I don't think so. You can complete within a week all of these certification courses. Whenever we complete this course, I believe you might complete as much as you can. So you can see lot of courses that they are introducing. So you can go for introduction to programming if you don't have any coding experience. If you have some coding experience, my general suggestion is go for Python. You just go here, you need to sign, register and sign in actually, right, to keep all of these information stored, and you just do it leisurely. All the information here, some tutorial is there, an exercise is there, tutorial is here, and exercises are there. Likewise, you can learn all of these things very well with lot of exercises, guys. Not just do well, not just watching a video, just cheating to someone else. This is just a very nice course that I have seen. So it's just covered 7 subtopics. I have covered basics of these booleans conditions and basics of the lists and basics of loops. So you have some external libraries I have covered today. Some of basics I haven't completed very detailed, even strings and dictionaries. I have completed basics in here, but I haven't done much more coding exercises during class time because it's totally out of my scope. But I have given a help for you, additional help you to take you up from the level that you are now in. And you can see it's estimated 5 hours to learn, right? But actually, guys, you can't. Though they are telling it's 5 hours, probably you might want 15 hours around. I'm pretty sure. Uh, it's really hard some of the things because we are running here and there and learning. So at that time, it might take around 15 hours, 10 to 15 hours of effort is required, and they are giving a certificate completion certification. Uh, yeah, yeah. Hours to earn certificate 5 hours, right? And that means that to complete this work, we are expecting 5 hours. I don't think so. You can give a try, and it's no cost. It's free of charge, so you can do this experimental work very well. It's totally free of charge, so you can learn all of these things from. Don't just run one by one and just complete the tutorials. Complete the tutorial, then complete the exercise. Complete the tutorial, then go to the exercise. No point at all, just go for the tutorials. Parallelly, you should do, like, once you complete this tutorial, you should complete this exercise. That's mandatory. Don't skip, guys, any of these exercises, because these are the most important thing, not the lesson. Lesson you can learn from anywhere, but the exercises is the most important point. So once you complete this, you can get this certificate. This is mostly like skill based work. So if you are get 1,000 certifications, that might be not a value. As an example, you have a driving license but you can't drive, no point, right? You have a certificate but you don't know what is how to do, no point, right? So that's the same thing that we focus in this subject area. So much more practicals required. That's why I'm introducing for all the batches to go through these exercises. Don't think it's easy. Some of the things are quite there are some red chilies and stuff for the questions. It's like something that we have to think a lot, right? We have to think a lot and we have to code it. If you get hit, I'm pretty sure you will complete this certificate course before next week. It's more than enough. 1 week is more than enough. If you don't have any programming experience, no worries at all. Go for this introduction to programming. So it might take around a couple of hours, not days. Introduction to programming, right? So they are telling everything. The very first components that I told today: arithmetics and variable functions, data types, conditions, statements, lists. I have completed all of these things. I haven't focused on functions much. Yeah, I haven't done functions, but it's much easy. Don't worry. Actually, this can complete within 5 hours. You can complete this one. It was much easy. This one, and you have some additional information also. And once you completed it, quickly come to this certification course, Python course. Then I'm pretty sure you will be a one of star in this subject area. You will get full experience rather than going for a number of videos and other stuff. This is the best experiment that you can do. Plus, if you have completed this one, then go for introduction to artificial intelligence, machine learning. Sorry, introduction to machine learning. You just go to this introduction to machine learning, then you can learn many information. It takes much effort than 3 hours. They are telling it's just 3 hours. I don't think so. You can do it within 3 hours. Sometimes it might take around 30 hours, right? They are telling it's 3 hours, but actually it takes a lot of time. Uh, but since I have given some of interesting stories to you, I'm pretty sure you are strong enough to handle this information too. If you are good enough to good understanding, if you got during the class time, right? So it's up to you. I'm not asking next week whether you have done or you have done. It's up to you to complete all the things. I'm guiding you. I'm giving instruction. I'm giving path. I'm showing you where to run. It's your job to take these things and jump all throughout the hurdles and take to the next level, right? So that's the story that I want to tell you. This is very important, super exciting, right? Super exciting. And if you want to earn money, yes, obvious, good. You can go for the competitions. So first few competitions might be really hard. You were not able to do, but yeah, well, think it's like dollars, guys, big dollars, right? $100,000, right? But competition is extremely high. It's like 100,000. Oh, really enough. See, It's a big amount, right? For a year, it's more than enough for us, right? For a year, it's more than enough for us, right? So you just think, and there are very some of the things like strengths and some of for knowledge. So different kinds of competitions are there. Once you've gone well, you can go for this knowledge and some of small prizes, pens and stuff, pens, pen drivers, t-shirts, some of things that they are sharing. If you want, I can share my t-shirt that I want, right? So interesting things are there. You just give for these swags and stuff. They are giving all of these things guaranteed. This is not a fake site. It's not a. This is not a fake site. This is a real site and very powerful, maintained by Google, if I'm not mistaken. Initially, this one of Indian product. I think Google purchased the product, entire product, from where I can find. That's not in there. Our team. Somehow we don't want to bother about that. Somehow they have developed it, right? And there are a lot of data sets. See, for our work, we can get a lot of data sets free of charge. They are giving. Even if you want to share the data sets, yes, sure, you can share the data sets with them, and it's a help for the other millions of data scientists. And almost quote snippets with example files are there. I will give an example. Linear regression. Take example linear regression. We don't want data set. Linear regression. See, linear regression data set. There might be some notebooks. Yes, some notebooks are there. You can go through. Some of competitions are there. Some of data sets are there. Some of discussion topics and comments are there. Even tutorials are there. If you go for tutorials, then here you can see linear regression with time series. Yeah, well, I don't think so. It's fit for you. It's a bit hard for you. So you don't want to bother about that. We'll go for this tutorial. We'll go for this notebook. If you just click this kind of a notebook, I'm not sure what is inside here, right? Once you go to here, they have written all the code. Now don't misinterpret. No, don't try to copy paste these codes and get your life easy, right? So they are telling very carefully. They have written workshop principles, hypotheses, right? Have you done hypotheses and stuff? You have done, right? So the my I think regression is not a big deal. Regression you have learned. So this is the same regression stuff, and this is how we import the files and different kinds of data sets, how to take the data sets, and in taking the data sets, we have done these things, and some of additional metrics information in here, visualization, cost function. You can learn everything very well. Don't worry about these big math. Some of students getting wow, right? Don't think like that. It's like d by dx kind of thing. If you don't know d by dx, ignore it. That's totally okay, guys. Right? So you are not doing computational mathematics. There are computational mathematicians who are doing all these d by dx. We want to apply it. Even I don't like this d by dx a lot. Right? So that's totally okay. We want the implemented solution. That means a scalar. We have a implementation in a scalar. And here we have exploratory data analytics, missing value. See, all the steps are they have given plots and yeah, well, many other things they have given. Valid plots are there, some visualization, box plots, see, valid plots, and data pre-processing. See, all the steps are they are given. Box plots transformation, lambda transformations by satisfied. Trend test speech model building very clearly they have explained all the things, model evaluation. So everything, simply everything, simply everything is given there very carefully. nicely written what they have to do, model validation, and yeah, how to check these models are working perfectly or not. So see, it's very good notebook. Some of notebooks are not this kind of very clear, detailed and explanation. This is luckily I found a good explanation and with a good notebook. Some of notebooks do not have this kind of nice things. Usually these gold people do have good work. uh, I can't guarantee, but usually we have, that's usually. So if you don't have a Kaggle account, you can create an account easily, register with Google, then add your username and password, right? Then you can add your username and password, then you can do the rest of the things. That's it. Easy, right? Quickly give a try. If you are really bothering about these username and password and the Gmail accounts, what you can do is you can create a temporary fake account. I mean, temporary Gmail. Temporary Gmail means an email for your testing purposes. I have 25 around accounts for different purposes. So you can create free of charge any amount of Gmail accounts. Create a Gmail account for data science, and you can use it for all the data science work. Then even if they spammed, nowadays at all, it's not a big deal. The issue is whenever it comes to our primary email. So if we are using only for the data science, that's only for our, I have a lot that created for all of these kinds of work, right? I will give a couple of minutes, give a try, log into what we call this Kaggle and check, start your first ever tutorial, guys, during the class time. I will give around 5 to 10 minutes to experiment this Kaggle environment also. This is very important because I believe most of the people, the data scientists skilled because of this Kaggle competitions and stuff. This is a good innovative and experimental work that they have done. So give a try. I will give around 5 to 10 minutes. Quick. All right, guys. Any questions? All good. Created a Kaggle account and done everything. Good. We learned sklearn, overview. We learned Kaggle. Nice things are there, and Python basics are covered. And you know what is AI and other stuff. I think good theory background is comes to you. Now we need to deep dive into these concepts. Well, any questions further? All good. No question. All right, then. If you don't have any questions, that's all for today. So you can leave. Have a nice day. If you got any questions, anything needs to clarify, give me a call. I have shared Telegram links with you, so you can use Telegram anytime. Message me, call me. I try to give my maximum help for you. Right? That's all then. Say bye bye. We'll meet next week.
You, sir.
Thank you, sir.